First of all, let's make it official, Pamela. I'm David DiCrescenzo with American Patriots Press. This is one of my partners, Matthew Kenny, one of our editors.
David, Matthew, pleasure is mine.
It's an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
All right, Matthew, would you, go ahead.
Yeah, let's just get right to the action. Pamela Geller's here from Atlas Shrugged, world famous to a lot of us, maybe unknown to some, but it's mine and David's job, along with Barbara Van Zant, to get the word out. She is concentrating right now on exposing the Ground Zero Mosque. We're here to see a viewing of her movie, and what we like to start with is just get right down to it. Tell us, what's this movie about?
During the Ground Zero Mosque story arc, I always video our rallies, our protests, and we had a very large rally on D-Day to protest the building of a 15-story mega mosque in a building that was destroyed in the 9/11 attacks. It's not that it was a block or two from Ground Zero. It is Ground Zero. And what happened was, instead of running video of the speeches, the story continued to morph. It was like the morphing mosque narrative, how the media ignored it, and when it became a story too big to ignore, how they began to shape the narrative. And anybody that was against the mosque was a racist, Islamophobic, anti-Muslim bigot. And how this continued, the demonization of really 70% of the American people, because that was the number that opposed the mosque. So we thought it was important for the historical record that the film be made to show what really happened, not how the media portrayed the Patriots who opposed it, and how they glorified and exalted the developer, Sharif Agamal, who was named NBC's Man of the Year after defaulting on not one but two bank loans, by being evicted, also not paying his rent, Soho Properties. Not a good guy, and who had a record, had a criminal assault record, and also threatened a moderate Muslim who spoke out against the mosque. And then you had Time magazine nominating Imam Raouf for Man of the Year, a man that advocates for the Sharia, who had buildings seized in New Jersey because he was a slumlord.
He sounds like an American politician so far.
But here, really the exaltation of these people, merely because they were building this offensive, deliberately provocative mosque-strosity at Ground Zero. So that was the impetus behind the film. It was really very organic how we made the film.
Wow, sounds like a lot of covering up going on.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. So that's going to be what the movie's about. Matthew, there was a question we wanted to ask, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
Well, besides like this private showing or something, how are you getting the word out about this movie?
Well, it's really Patriots. We have shown the movie to full houses in California, in Texas, been to Florida 2 times to screen the movie, Boston. People are showing the movie. Not organizations, just regular folks. They're getting the space. Today we're at Worldwide Church, and I want to thank Pastor Dozier for helping get the word out. But clearly this is the work of the individual. Clearly this is the work of people that want to help show what's really going on across America, in this stealth jihad.
How long ago did you start this, showing the movie?
Oh, we just started, it was the end of February.
Okay.
And we've had, I guess, about 10 screenings. And next weekend we're going to be in Houston. We have them, I would say we're doing about 2 a month. And of course we're selling them. Today we're selling them with all the proceeds going to the troops in Camp Leatherneck, Afghanistan, the concussion care recovery unit. So we're very happy. We're very, very pleased that we could do that, because they're over there laying down their lives.
Yeah.
Fighting this score.
Just to remind all viewers, all the proceeds go to the Concussion Restoration Care Center, Camp Leatherneck, in Afghanistan. And next topic.
Well, I just had a very quick, brief question, and I promised some people that I know that I'd ask you this, even though I think they should know by now. People have asked me how friendly that you and Brigitte Gabriel might be. I know that you're basically in the same type of a business.
I admire her work, but we're not friends. I guess met her once,
okay.
But I admire what she's doing. It seems that this is such a small, fight. So few people are fighting it that you would think, I guess, that we all lived in the same house. But no, she doesn't live in my part of the world. But when I see her at CPAC, I'm always, tipping the old hat,
Round 2 of the Peter King radical Islamic hearings come up next week. Are you involved in that in any way? Or?
I support them. I mean, my only concern with Peter King's hearings is that he had backed down on certain witnesses the last time. He was supposed to have Ayan Ali. He said he wouldn't have Steve Emerson and Robert Spencer, and he had, you know, Keith Ellison, who went up there and started blubbering and told a falsehood, made up a complete story about a Muslim who, you know, was tormented and so on and so forth, and so it shouldn't be ill-used because too little of this is being done. I think the idea that we should address the radicalization of the conversions in the prisons, where we see repeatedly many of the jihad attacks that have been thwarted in the United States have been radicalized. Those jihadis have been radicalized in prison. So this is a problem. It's not being addressed. Many of the imams are very, very radical, and we have to understand that, you know, every Islamic attack across the world has the imprimatur of a Muslim cleric. So what is being done, you know, to address the jihad threat that inspires all of these attacks?
Are you familiar with the MJAM situation down here in Margate?
I am, and I've met some of the warriors fighting that, and they're in for a tough time because any time you protest a rabat, a beachhead being established, you know, again, you're labeled, you're demonized as a racist, Islamophobic, anti-Muslim bigot.
And the mainstream media was there, and they were doing that. They were turning the interview on us, saying that we're disrupting the Muslim community.
Yes, of course, which is why my next book, which is coming out September 6th, which is and I've already wrote the Post-American Presidency. No, my next book is Stop the Islamization of America, A Practical Guide to the Resistance. And that is a how-to guide on what you must do to fight these monstrosities. And there's a playbook, and we need a playbook because they will frame you. They deliberately look for newbies, people that are, you know, green in terms of being interviewed. They coax them with certain questions, and then, of course, they pull the quote that they think is going to look the most damning, and you have to be ready for that. And so this book will actually give you talking points, so that you can make your point in whatever, 10 seconds, you know, you only have a certain amount of time, but we have to get good at it, because this is a war. We are in the war of ideas. This is the information battle space that we're in, and we can't complain because all is fair in love and war. The playing field is not fair, and we have to use the media like guerrilla media.
That's right. Now, and I look forward to seeing this movie today. Just to change the subject, you wrote a column last week about Sarah Palin, and what are your personal thoughts on her?
I love her. I mean, I think that she is one of our most effective leaders, which is why the left hates her so very much. I mean, the demonization, the violent language, it's astounding. The kind of campaign of destruction against a very successful woman with no dynasty behind her, no Bush dynasty, no Clinton dynasty, made it on her own, great marriage, beautiful family, very successful governor, achieved more in her 18 months than any other governor, really ever. Not, you know, Roosevelt, not, you know, well, he was Mayor LaGuardia, but Reagan, even Reagan. And so this is what they do. They try to destroy our most effective leaders so that we're left with rhinos. And then they take out the rhino. And so we cannot let this happen. We cannot let them destroy Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin is one of us. And when they destroy her, they're destroying us. And when they attack her, they're attacking us. She's family. And you got to protect her like you protect your family.
She is for God, for family, and for country. And that's why they're attacking. Do you think she's going to go?
I pray that she goes. I believe that the American people are voiceless. I think the media has become, I mean, it is not a news gathering outfit at all. It is a criminal, corrupt propaganda arm of the uber left. They've ceased in their role as disseminating news and information. They did not vet our presidential candidate. I mean, one of his, if Sarah Palin made one of his gaffes, it would be daily news for a year. The 57 states, reading the toast to the
list
Queen.
goes on.
Yeah, the list goes on. I mean, could you imagine what they would do to a Republican that does what he does in a week?
Are you aware this bus tour she's on is similar to the Volkswagen Jetta tour she did in Alaska to get to know the townsfolk? She drove all around Alaska.
It's very Harry Truman. He did the same thing. She's one of us, and I think that if not now, never. Because at some point, I think it's irretrievable. It's irrevocably broken. And we are on the brink. And I think that she can pull us back from the brink.
One thing, this is personal to me. Part of my conversion to conservatism was because of Dr. Michael Savage. He has been put on a jihad list a couple of years ago, a terrorist watch list, because they were missing a Jewish, conservative, white male person from that list for diversification reasons. And one thing that upsets me is that his colleagues, other talk show hosts, will not touch this for 2 years. I've heard one host make it, and shame on you, Glenn Beck. I heard one caller call in and ask you about that, and you said basically, call me when he's banned from the United States. And there was just something just ripped out of a part of me that left it that he was part fake as far as what he's looking to accomplish. And I just want to know, I don't know what your thoughts are on Michael Savage.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous, whatever their peccadillos are, whatever if he's not one of the in crowd. I mean, I don't know what the politics are in that world. The UK is, in my opinion, if any country in Europe goes Islamic first, it'll be them. I know that a number of Muslims have submitted my name that I shouldn't be allowed in the UK. Yeah, not to take away what happened to Michael Savage, but I'm saying they've really lost touch with who they are. They have no civilizational self-esteem. And so there's a vacuum, and evil loves a vacuum, and that's what we're witnessing across Europe, and clearly what's happening here in America.
Yeah, one question that I wanted to ask you as well, Pam. I know there's going to be big things happening in New York City on the 10th anniversary. Can you tell our what's going on with that?
Please come on September 11th. We're having a mega rally for our war dead, and that's what they are. And again, we'll be protesting the mosque because they intend to go ahead with it, and we can't let that happen. And so on September 11th at 3 o'clock, please come to Ground Zero. It's the 10th anniversary, and you should be there. We're also protesting Durban because that UN-sponsored hate fest, which we are boycotting the United States, is coming to New York City at the time of 9/11, and I think that it's an Islamic victory lap. So I urge you, on the 10th anniversary, it may be an imposition to get there, but you have to come.
And one last thing, what we're starting up is, and I hope we're original in this, but the people we interview, we want to share part of them with America. So what we're doing is, every person we interview, we're asking them, what's your favorite recipe?
My favorite recipe is difficult to create.
Okay.
It's stuffed cabbage soup.
Oh man, that sounds good.
Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. You can make it without meat if you're on a diet, or you can make it with meat, you know, soup bones. It's really old country. You want the recipe?
Could you email it to us?
This is where you're going to do. This is what we're going to do, and then eventually we're going to make.
You're going to love me.
We're going to make a book of the blogosphere recipes, and just one last thing. Tell our readers and listeners and followers, how can they get in touch with you, or how can they read your stuff?
Well, go to atlasshrugs.com. That's my blog. I write for it every day. I update at least 10 times. I'm a regular columnist at WorldNet Daily. I write for all the Breitbart sites. And as you know, I'm the author of The Post-American Presidency, the Obama Administration's War on America with Robert Spencer, a forward by Ambassador John Bolton. And you're not getting your news from the media. You have to go to people you trust, and I assure you that if you read Atlas, over time you'll see my credibility speaks for itself.
One last question from my side of the room. After the movie comes out in the book, what's the next big thing for Pam Geller? What have you got coming up that you can maybe share with us after, say, the holidays or around the holidays?
Saving America. That's on my list of things to do.
That's a great answer. Thank you.
Thank you,
Pam Geller. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, America.
Thank you very much.
Matthew Kenny, David DiCrescenzo for American Patriots Press. Back to you, Barb, in Colorado.
Teach me to